Hello and welcome to the Beer Jerk Beer of the Week Drink Along. I'm Luke, and this week we're drinking a beer from Small Gods. This beer is Jupiter's Veil, which is pretty tasty. Jupiter's Veil came about. I should probably say for you that are joining us that haven't been a subscriber for a long time, Small Gods is me and also my friend Matt. So he couldn't make it along for the video today, so I can say whatever I like. Come up with all kinds of fibs about how we made this beer. But anyway, me and Matt were drinking a beer that was in the Beer Jerk Advent calendar in December. And we just got really inspired by it. I'm not going to say we copied the beer, but we took heavy inspiration from Good to the Grave, which is a brilliant collaboration beer from Sailor's Grave and Goodlands. That are both in the deep southeast of Australia around Gippsland. We've been friends with the Sailor's Grave guys for years now, and we import a lot of their beers. And it was the first time I've tried a beer from Goodlands. Hopefully we'll get some more of this stuff over. But if that one was anything to go from, it was a great start for us. So that was a dark rye farmhouse ale that was made with pink peppercorns and grapefruit. And we both just drank it and just independently, almost simultaneously said to each other, we need to make a beer that's an homage to this or in the similar style. It was just the Belgian yeast character of the Saison farmhouse strain they used, along with the citrusy notes of the grapefruit and just the sort of dark malty body, the spice of the rye. So this is a version of it. As I say, we didn't try and copy it, but we took inspiration. So for the citrus notes, we decided to go with oranges. So we hand zested a lot of oranges. That generally is the way we do things with Small Gods. We do things in slow, laborious, expensive ways. We make beers that are the sort of things that we want to drink. And not necessarily things that are going to be really commercially popular. I don't think there's going to be a Small Gods Hazy Pale Ale anytime soon. I suppose we see the way our little tiny corner of the market is to be zagging when everyone else is zigging and doing things that, me and Matt as a couple of enthusiastic beer geeks want to be drinking. So we zested between us a lot of oranges, which is it's certainly not an orangey beer, but it's one of the building blocks that just really makes the beer what it is. We've got some really quite a characterful saison yeast in there. It doesn't overwhelm things. It's not sort of one-dimensional whatsoever. And then rye is a really nice ingredient to use in your malt bill. I think rye is a kind of grain that can be used in pretty much any kind of beer style, really. You know, a rye IPA, a rye stout, rye. We used 3 different varieties of malted rye in this, just because we could get them and thought they'd help add more layers to the beer and just have different things going on. And rye, as you'd have probably had if you ever had a loaf of rye bread, gives a certain spicy character to the beer, which really complements the spicy notes, the interesting esters that you get in a Belgian style beer like this from the yeast as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on in this beer. It's one that we've had on tap here at the Fridge and Flagon for a few weeks now, and I've just been really enjoying drinking it. And it's a beer that somewhat changes a bit as it warms up, as is often the case with dark beers, and you can get different things out of it. But definitely, as it gets a bit warmer, you get more of the chocolate orange notes that come out of it. And why Jupiter's Veil? There's always a story behind the names of our beers at Small Gods. We spend a lot of time talking about history, about mythology, about theology. So when we decided upon the orange, obviously it came to us that we thought of Juno, who was the paramour of Jupiter, and she gifted him a dowry of oranges and blossoms on their wedding day. So that's why we thought Jupiter, and we didn't just want to call the beer Jupiter, so we're thinking, well, what is it about Jupiter? And yeah, we just got to thinking, and also, you know, bit of researching and reading that the planet of Jupiter, of course, I'm sure you probably know this, but it's so huge in our solar system. It actually creates a gravitational pull and sucks in meteors and asteroids that would otherwise definitely hit the Earth. So Jupiter has somewhat of a protective veil over planet Earth, which is pretty wonderful. And also in the stories of the god Jupiter, he was not loyal to Juno. He had many, many indiscretions. And there are tales that he had a cloak of clouds that descended to that he could hide his numerous affairs behind. So that's the broadly the idea behind Jupiter's veil. And yeah, I don't think we wrote the hops on there. With our hoppy beers, we always do list the hops, but obviously our cans are always pretty minimalist. As much as they've got big stories behind them, we like to keep our cans pretty simple. So we use Centennial in here and Mandarina Bavaria, which is a modern day German hop, which it hints to in the name, mandarins, is a bit of an orangey hop as well. And just gives you another sort of layer of citrus in there. And speaking of our labels, I do most of the art for the Small Gods beers and the label design, and this one was inspired by René Magritte, who both Matt and I are big fans of, and I really enjoy the Magritte exhibition in Wellington that was a year or so ago, and I was in Belgium last year, and of course there's sort of Magritte everywhere. So this was a bit of a simplistic woodcut style, I suppose. Image of a chap looking at a moon, which is pretty. Which is also a nice thing that we can do at Small Gods, because our batches are so small. Our beers don't really have to sell themselves to people on the supermarket shelves. I remember in the olden days you could get a subscription to your favourite magazine. So you'd subscribe to Empire magazine and you'd have a different special cover that wasn't the cover that they had on the supermarket shelves or in the newsagents. Because the newsagent needed to grip people's attention, needed to have all the stories written on the front of the magazine. But as a subscriber, you were getting it anyway. So you could have cool, interesting cover art on the magazine, and they didn't need to have all the words on there. So yeah, I definitely took inspiration somewhat from that idea that people that are buying a Small Gods beer, they're pretty much buying it on the internet, and they probably know what the beer is all about anyway. So I don't think I can't really see Small Gods beers being sold at the supermarket anytime soon. Not really interested in that. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think. It's definitely, probably not a beer for everybody this week. I think there might be a few people for whom it isn't their cup of tea. So keen to hear from you guys too. So as ever, it's in the NZ Beer Jerks group on Facebook, where people often chat about the beers each Thursday night as they drink them. And here at the Fridge and Flagon, I mentioned last time, we've just started opening on Fridays. So the Fridge and Flagon is our bar that's inside our warehouse in Eden Terrace in Auckland. We're just behind the power station, over the road from Galbraith's on the Auckland Beer Mile. And so these days we're open every Saturday and also every Friday. So we've recently upgraded our menu a little bit. So we've got really good polenta sticks that have been going down really well, and hash brown bites. So pop in and see us if you're in the area. Come by after work on a Friday or Saturday afternoon, and we've always got lots of interesting beers going on here. And other news, we just launched the Autumn Drop this week, which is a really fantastic box of beer. So Joe's done a great job curating 12 really eclectic selection of beers that are going to go down well as the weather starts getting a bit cooler, the days start getting a bit shorter. There's a red IPA in there, there's stouts, there's all manner of beers in there. So the Autumn Drop is a brilliant bargain as well. Anyway, enough waffling. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beer. I really hope you enjoy it too. As I say, looking forward to hearing what you think about it. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being a beer jerk. Tell your friends. It'll be cool to have a few more beer jerks joining us every week. And I will see you next time. Cheers.